Hello, sir. How are you doing? Today's topic is planet and power supply. That's right. So I'm gonna make a brief video tonight. So here, what you just saw was my work from yesterday and today. I created a procedural generated new material, which I call, Planet 2025. It has almost everything. It's all 2D. You can see that like a text, like textures, like layer on layer on layer, basically. And one of the interesting things is it has an atmosphere. It has city lights only appearing on the Earth, not in the ocean. It has some clouds which I still have to work on. It has a polar stuff. I can modify the whole thing. I can make it more shiny and do all kind of things. I thought it's interesting to show while I'm talking about my power supply. So I will exchange, hopefully, wish me luck on that, if you want, if you care, whatever. You see other planets like a backup planets. My idea is, I have right now two computers. I have a laptop with Windows 11 and a relatively strong RTX on it, but it's a laptop. A laptop is not, I don't want to, I need it also for traveling and when I go different places, So I don't want to work on that on all the time with hardcore render thing, And so I have my tower PC, which is from 2018, and it uses an GTX 1080, which has served me very well over those years. I also took very well care of my main tower PC, always cleaned that guy twice a year. I clean the whole inside with, remove all the dust and so on to keep my system clean and make sure it's not overheating. I talk about overheating a lot on this channel. So the problem only is that I can never upgrade this guy as it is to Windows 11. For that, I would need to install a different mainboard or motherboard, then RAM and CPU and cooling the CPU. That I would need to do. And then it's even questionable if Windows would accept this drastic change of components, because Windows is also locked to your hardware. So that would be a question. Luckily, I get more and more familiar with Linux. To me, Linux is very interesting, very fun. The transition is not completed. I think I will always use both. I will always use Microsoft and Linux because I don't see why this is an either-or option only. But I gotta tell you honestly that Linux is really, really fun. It's right now the operating system I boot in daily voluntarily. I could also just boot into my laptop if I want to, or I still have Microsoft 2 copies of the same operating system just in case. I need that when I need to. So Linux is fun, but it's not about Linux tonight. I just want to share that I haven't. Last time I built a computer from scratch, I think it was 2017, and it was I think there was a time between 17 and 18 before I bought my new computer, where I needed desperately an okay machine, which I kind of cheaply assembled. That was the last time I did that. While I clean my computer very often the components, exchanging power supply, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit nervous about that. I'm a little bit rusty on that because you have to, the whole cable stuff you have to do, it's a hassle, I think. And I don't want to plug anything wrongly in so that anything, explodes. But I thought like, okay, I'm going to handle it like that. I will just, first I'll exchange the power supply. If this is a successful exchange and everything works smooth, then I can just buy a new graphics card. If I break and blow up my whole machine, then I can buy a new computer, which I wanted to do anyways. Yeah, so we'll see. I have here a new MSI 850 watt power supply now, which I want to do this today, but I can't. I shouldn't do that now. I should do it with fresh energy when I'm rested well and patient. Clean everything, get ready, and then get to it. So I hope this will be a smooth transition. And then when this works, I'll think about buying an RTX 4070, 12 gigabyte of RAM, VRAM, I mean. And yeah, of course I would like I was thinking maybe spending a little bit more money and getting the super version or whatever, the version with the 16 gigabyte, because it benefits me in Blender, right? Doing stuff like that. I mean, larger scenes, but also I don't know about, I know about pictures, VRAM and stuff, but about procedural generated stuff, I don't actually know how a bigger graphics card and would benefit, but probably I would feel that benefit very strongly. The other thing is, I hope I checked that the CPU I currently use, is very likely still good enough to not underpower my newer RTX, which I didn't even buy yet. It's relatively okay, I think. But there could be, also an option for later when the power supply exchange is being done and I run with the newer graphics cards and I'm happy with that for, let's say, for a year. Then I can maybe buy next year just a new motherboard, CPU, cooling, RAM, and then, I could maybe also install Windows if I want to. That I don't know if this is right now. There is only Reaper, which I really need in using Windows, because it's hard to set it up. It's also a new program, so that also plays a role. Reaper is an audio production program. Can be maybe, I could maybe just use RDAW, which I have installed but not really used very well here. And another thing which popped into my head, Windows might be needed for gaming. So I have one friend who likes to play graphic intense games, and he will, I've heard that maybe, let's say I would decide I want to buy Battlefield. No, it makes sense. It's a sentence, right? I want to buy Battlefield. Let's say that would happen because, a friend is convincing me he wants to play something. That can happen. Stuff like this. So it's, I haven't played this in so long, and EA is EA. But I've heard that, I don't know about Battlefield right now, that you have to play this using Windows because of anti-cheat or something. What am I doing here? So anyway, that's my thoughts on the this is the idea I play around. I'm playing also around with the idea of creating a website, making more overlays, just for fun. Changing here some things that you can see an impact. So let's change the polar a little bit. Right now this is based on position, which is a little bit stupid if you know Blender. Not stupid, it depends what you like, what you need. Not necessarily stupid. Here are the clouds. We have some different clouds. I think about reflection, that I add them a little bit into the reflection better, so that they I think it looks sometimes a little bit off still when the ground is reflecting over the clouds. It doesn't look right. It's not a simulation, so it doesn't have to look too good. But my goal is always to make it like acceptable, believable for the for the non-professionals. That's good enough for me, because so again, those are clouds, and then here's another. This is just a happy accident, or just it's not something I would plan. It's just a leftover, and I just left it in because I can with that also manipulate a bit. I could replace that though. It's not needed. Lots of things. It's very messy, the whole thing. I can also show you that a bit if you know Blender. Then you can maybe get an idea. Very, very messy. It's just I tweaked the heck out of it to get what I want. This is polar stuff. This is cloud stuff. This is reflection stuff. Here we have city stuff. These are just cities. And the cities, you can see they only appear on land. But I want to improve the city distribution a little bit. It looks better a little bit. Goal was also to have only one object. This is one object. This is the funny part. And then I called it like that. Yeah. I did lots of the color is also here. This is also color, but this is just different shades of gray, and this can be also manipulated as color stuff. Here's the color, and we can easily change the with gamma a little bit. I have an ice planet here. Yeah, it's fun. I like universe stuff because you're never wrong, doing universe stuff. And this is the ocean, not anymore. Now it's a different planet. It was Earth-like, and now it's not anymore. Here's a different sun. This is just this was a nice sun idea. I like it, but at the same time, I have a different sun, which I like better. It's more, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I use also here. This is how it looks without filter and without the light. Yeah, and the clouds do not move with the object, which makes sense to me. However, they should move a little bit with the object. But clouds always just they usually just change shape, but they do also wander a little bit. That last time I was in space, I checked that out, and so I'm sure they go with it. So the green planet. Yeah, so that's fun. Again, I wanted to have something for a new overlay, for the game No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky, let me just, while we at this anyways, I have a little bit of this is a game, I would probably say that again when I play it again. It's not going to be a let's play. It's going to be just playing a bit for a while maybe or something. I mean, playing through that game is also would be horrible, I think, because I always start excited, and then there's a point when I think, what the hell am I doing here, anyways? Always I start like, oh, hey, this is so much fun. Why do I not play this anymore? And then after a while, what the hell am I doing here? Yeah, that's how I always leave the game. So I kind of like, it's not bad, but I feel so unsatisfied sometimes, Yeah. Whatever. And we have a little bit of displacement also going on here. We have this one here, which I almost took down completely. With this we can increase the strength, This wouldn't make too much sense, but you can see we can sharpen that a little bit. It doesn't, it's not what you want at the end, but you can just see that this is a way to handle that. Wait. Huh? Interesting, huh? I can maybe also exchange that, invert that. No, it's like that. Huh? Funny. Oh, we have a weird thing going on here. A blubble double. Imagine this would be our Earth, and we can increase that. And I hope the system can handle it. Maybe we have to actually apply that for here. Oh boy, what have I done? system is slowing down. Yeah, it makes sense because, you know, subdivision on the surface is already hard. I'm applying. Oh, I didn't. No, it's applied, but it doesn't really seem to have. Okay, let's scale. Ah, here we go. Now we have more impact, I think. Yeah, that looks interesting, huh? Yeah, now it's different. It's more like a meteor. It's not worth actually because it's now it slows down the whole thing here a lot. Yeah, it's looks like a sponge now, like those yeah, things here. Ah, the Frenzel I think plays also a role here now because of the scale. Check this out. Yeah. Yeah, Blender can do a bunch of shit here. Displacement, in this regard, I haven't really worked well with because this is not a feature which was always available on the render engine I prefer, which is Eve. There are two render engines in. This is called Eve, which you can look at like would be like a game render engine. That's how I describe it. And this one is Cycles, which is more realistic. And Cycles got also faster, but interesting. Let's change some more stuff here. Just quickly, what I'm gonna go now in a second. Huh? Not this one, this one here. That's good, and this one. And now we have to adjust that one here. I mean, this wouldn't have an atmosphere anyways, so no atmosphere for you. Yeah. Yeah, I know the system's okay. Well, just playing around. I don't want to save that anyways. I just wanted to show you some cool stuff. That's about it. Okay. Again, I'm gonna go now and then I'm gonna exchange the power supply. If anyone watches that, good. If not, well then this is always. Didn't want it to end like that. I wanted to do that with Blender. Quit. No, Blender is busy. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna shut it down. Bye bye.